All right, people, we are on Google Classroom today. We are looking at our classwork and we are looking at Formula Sheet 1. All right, so first of all, I'm going to click on this, and this here is a picture. All right, and so it's not a big deal that it's a picture, but I'm just letting you know it's a picture. Now, some of this is going to be review from this year, and most of it, again, in general, is going to be review from previous years, but making sure. All right, so I'm going to talk about this a little bit here. So across the top, you are going to see, let me zoom in on this a little bit here. You're going to see A1 through E1 are just blank. And then the first word you have is an F1, and that's going to be sum. All right? Kind of similar here, you're going to have nothing in this first column until you get to A7, and that is average. Then you have the numbers 100, 200, 300, 400, 110, 120, 130, 140. All right? What you're going to do is you're going to fill in this information. Where the question marks are, you are going to put in the actual answers. Now, in your head, like for example, this would be 100, so 200, so 300, 600, 1,000. All right, we can do that in our head, or I think that you probably can do that in your head, but we want to actually program a spreadsheet to do that, to put in sums and then to put in averages across here. Average is a little bit more difficult to do in your head. All right, so let's take a look at that here. So I'm going to go ahead and do a blank document here real quick, and we're going to talk about that. So Google Sheets, remember you're going to be going add create, not going into it like I am. All right, so again, making sure you're paying attention, not clicking. Oops, I'm clicking all over. All right. So I am going to go here into B2 and put 100, 200, 300, 400. All right. Now I'm going to type up here the word sum. All right. And then I'm going to go down over here. Computer's being leggy. 110 and 120 and 130 and 140, like so. All right. And over here, I'm going to put average. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of box this in here, like so. All right. And put some borders on there. So let's talk about how we want to do this. So we want to add up these numbers right here. We want to add up these numbers right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to this thing here that's called functions. All right, it's like this sideways M, I suppose. It is a Greek letter. I can't remember what Greek letter it is, zeta or something. But I can't remember what it is, honestly. But we want to add these numbers up. So what we want to do is we want to click where we want the answer. And we hit this drop-down menu, or drop-down arrow, and you see some average and then some other ones, count, max, and minimum. All right? So what we're going to do is we're going to select sum. And what that's going to do then is this gives me like a question mark. You see that? And it says sum, and then it doesn't know what to do. So I'm going to highlight those four numbers. And you can see there it gives me a little preview of what that answer is going to be. And it also says, basically this says F2, that's this cell, is going to equal the sum of B2 to E2. And in blue there you'll see it says 1,000. So I hit enter, and it's going to put 1,000 in there. Ooh, this is new since last time I've used that, but that doesn't really matter. All right, so 1,000. And I click in here, and you can see when I click in here, I can see that it actually has a sum up there. The formula or the function in there. It's not just the number, versus if I click on 400, you can see here it just is the number. But I have that B2 to E2 in there. All right. Now what's cool is since it is based on what is in that cell, if if 300 here is actually 30, I hit enter, it will automatically recalculate for me because it's reading what data is in there. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and click back in there and switch that back to 300. Now, very similar for average, I click where I want the answer, and I'm going to go to this drop down, and I'm going to select average. And once again, it doesn't know what to add or average, so I'm just going to highlight the numbers I want average, and it's going to give me an average of 120. All right. So let's go right here. I'm just going to do one more column here. Again, do not start. You will have plenty of time here to work on it. And for example, I don't even know quite if those are the right numbers or not, but are those the right ones? Yes, they are. So again, I'm going to select this cell or be in this cell, and I'm going to do sum, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1040. And then again down here would be 210, 220, and 230, and 240, like so. And then here I'm going to again hit this drop down and do average, and I'm going to go this like so. Now, and again, this average is going to be 220. So again, what is kind of neat about this is that I can just even, like for example, let's say I pick this random cell right here, and maybe I want to add up all the numbers, and we'll pretend that I have this completely filled in. I could go here and I could go to sum, and it has no idea what to add. This is like question mark sum. It's like, what the heck do you want to add? I could go over here and just highlight this whole box and hit enter, and that would give me that sum of 5,500 so far. And then if I go ahead over here and continue adding these numbers, for example 320, you'll see that number there switches as I add more numbers to it. So it's really pretty cool that you can go through, and once you get your formula set up, you can then go ahead and change information and get that stuff. So that's, for example, when I go to typing test, which I use here. Let me go to a different one here. Let's go to 6.2, maybe 6.1, a good looking one. All right, so this Riley Berrigan, for example, her average is 25.58. So she has an absence score here. So if I put in, let's pretend that she typed 100, and I hit enter, you can see that it will recalculate her grade to 31.31, or her average. All right, so that's kind of nice to do that. And then the grade also is a formula that reads the average. And it reads the maximum score and the minimum score and the difference between them. So you can put all of those formulas in there that, again, make it pretty cool. So that's one of the things that I like about the spreadsheets. Now, so going back here, yours should look pretty similar to this. Again, not starting, paying attention. Yours should look pretty similar to this in terms of, form or columns stretched to fit. All right, make it look nice and pretty. Color in just these where the question marks are. This box right here, you can do sum or average. It depends on what way you want to go, but either way, it will be the same number. All right, it will be the same number. Okay, so question, yes, Adam.